Listen up, my friends, because this moment right here, this is where your life can change. What's your name? Where are you right now? Are you sitting in your car, scrolling through your phone? Or maybe lying awake at night wondering why you feel so empty? Life's been throwing punches, hasn't it? You've been giving everything, your heart, your time, your soul, and yet you're still searching for peace. You're tired of being the one who always shows up, only to be left standing alone. God's calling you today, whispering through the noise of your struggles, saying, "My child, I see you. It's time to stop betraying the soul I gave you." Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 proclaims, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." You were created for purpose, not pain. So let me, Denzel Washington, walk with you through this truth. There comes a moment when your silence becomes a betrayal of the divine spark God placed in you. When your kindness turns into a currency people spend without ever giving back. When you start asking yourself, "Lord, why am I pouring out so much and getting so little in return?" You bend, you break, you bleed, and still they treat your love, your effort, your time like it's disposable. You smile to keep the peace, you say yes when your heart's screaming no, you forgive those who never apologize, you keep showing up for people who'd never show up for you. They call it love. They call it loyalty. But I'm here to tell you, with God as my witness, it's self-neglect. Let me ask you this. How many times have you been the hero in someone else's story while playing the villain in your own? How many times have you poured and poured and poured only to find your cup empty? It's time to stop being the nice person if it means losing the soul God crafted. Being nice at the cost of your dignity isn't kindness, it's self-destruction. There's a difference between being kind and being a pushover, and deep down, you know it. But the world's conditioned you to mix them up. They told you speaking up makes you difficult, saying no makes you cold, walking away from disrespect makes you heartless. So you learn to stay quiet, to shrink, to swallow the pain so others could feel at ease. And somewhere along the way you started believing this was how to love, how to live. But hear me now, being the one who always forgives, always sacrifices, always says, "I'm fine," when you're breaking, that doesn't make you noble. It makes you invisible. It makes you a target for those who don't know how to love but sure know how to take. You're not here to be walked over, you're not here to live apologizing for existing. Being a good person should never mean living in pain so others can coast in peace. If your goodness costs your worth, it's time to redefine what good means in God's eyes. You weren't born to be anybody's emotional sponge. You weren't created to soak up everyone's problems while they never ask, "Hey, what's your name? You okay?" You weren't sent here to carry the weight of their comfort, approval, and healing while neglecting your own soul. But somehow, you got convinced that love means erasing yourself, that kindness means saying yes even when God's whispering, "No, my child, protect your heart." Psalm chapter 139 verse 14 affirms, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." You are God's masterpiece, not a doormat. You keep the peace, you stay silent, you let disrespect slide, and they praise you for being nice. But that ain't niceness, that's fear. Fear of being called selfish, rude, or heartless. So you let them get away with things they'd never tolerate. You let your silence give them permission. You let them see your patience as weakness. You think you're strong, but real strength isn't suffering in silence. Real strength is hearing God's call to say, "Enough is enough." When your kindness becomes your punishment, you've crossed a line. And it's time to remember, you don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe anyone your suffering. You owe yourself and God the voice He gave you. They don't thank you for always being there, they expect it. Miss one step, say no once, draw a boundary, and suddenly you're the bad guy. You've changed, you're the problem. That's not love, that's manipulation. People who truly care won't punish you for protecting the peace God wants for you. The problem is you've made it too easy for them to lean on you while giving nothing back. They see you picking up their pieces, fixing what they break, showing up when they're nowhere to be found. And they get comfortable taking, forgetting, disrespecting. That's not your role. That's not who God made you to be. You're not their backup plan, their emotional crutch, or their scapegoat. You're a child of God, deserving of respect as much as you give it. So why do you act like your needs are a burden? Why do you shrink for people who wouldn't bend for you? Don't let nice trap you in a life of unspoken pain. Start standing, start speaking, because being kind doesn't mean letting others treat you like you're disposable. It's not your job to fix broken people who refuse to heal. It's not your burden to carry their healing, especially when they choose to keep wounding themselves. But you've made it your mission to save everyone but yourself. You're the go-to, the reliable one, the one who says, "I've got you." And you keep doing it, hoping someone will say, "I've got you too." But they won't, because you've shown them they don't have to. You've shown them you'll break your back for people who won't lift a finger, cancel your needs for their convenience, sacrifice your joy for their comfort. And they take and take until you forget what it feels like to be full in God's grace. You don't need to be the hero in everybody's story. You don't need to carry one-sided relationships. That's not kindness, that's exhaustion, a soul running on empty. If people only love you for what you give, they don't love you, they love what you do for them. There's a difference. You think letting things slide makes you mature, turning the other cheek makes you spiritual. But let's be real, you're tired. You're tired. You're carrying silent anger. You walk around with a smile cracking at the edges, telling yourself it's better to keep peace than make waves. But peace that costs your voice isn't peace, it's a prison. It's emotional slavery. You don't speak up because you fear confrontation, but what if that fear is really about rejection? You're scared they'll leave if you stop being easy to manipulate. Scared they'll call you too much if you stop being silent. But let them walk, let them go. Because the right people, God's people, won't leave when you stand up. They'll cheer you on. The right people will love you harder when you love yourself enough to stop being the doormat for disrespect. You don't have to suffer in silence to be accepted. Real love, God's love, doesn't demand your suffering. You've taught people it's okay to mistreat you, not with words, but with your actions, your silence, your showing up for those who let you down. They learned you'll always be there, always forgive, always patch up the cuts no matter how deep. And now they don't even try to change, don't apologize, don't fix their disrespect, they just assume you'll get over it. And you do not, because you've healed, but because you've told yourself it's not worth the fight. But what's the cost? The slow erosion of your self-respect. Every time you stay silent, you're telling them their behavior's okay. Every time you act like it didn't hurt, you're giving them a pass to hurt you again. You deserve better, but you've got to believe it first, because people only value you as much as you value yourself. If you want respect, demand it, and sometimes that means walking away from those you once bent over backward for. You're not weak for wanting love, not wrong for wanting to be chosen, but you're responsible for ensuring that love doesn't cost your soul. Real love, God's love, doesn't demand you tolerate abuse, disrespect, or neglect. It sees you, values you, doesn't leave you questioning your worth every night. But when you've been the nice person so long, you forget what respect feels like. You get used to crumbs and call it a feast. Used to pain and call it patience. Confuse loyalty with self-betrayal, thinking if you love harder, they'll change. But love doesn't fix people, it shows who they are. If someone stays only because you won't walk away, that's not love, that's convenience. You're not a backup option, not a safety net, not someone to be used, abused, then praised for being strong. Stop breaking your heart to keep others comfortable. Stop staying where your worth is questioned, not honored. Always putting others first sounds noble, sounds holy, but when it's your lifestyle, it leaves you empty, bitter. You look around and see nobody's pouring into you like you pour into them. Instead of feeling appreciated, you feel abandoned, invisible, and you blame yourself. You think maybe you're not enough, too sensitive, that if you were more patient, more giving, they'd see your worth. But hear this, the right people don't need you to suffer to see your value. They don't need to break you to love you. They don't need your silence to feel strong or your submission to feel respected. So stop playing small, stop calling self-erasure humility. You deserve to be loved as you love others, to be seen, heard, honored, not used when it's convenient. They call you too nice, but they mean you're easy to manipulate. They know you'll forgive before they apologize, show up when they cancel, clean up their mess. And instead of changing, they keep draining because you don't stop them. That's not your identity, that's a pattern. And God's calling you to break it. You don't have to live in a cycle of giving and never receiving, proving your worth to people who see you as an option. You're not required to suffer in silence so others feel good. They don't value you because you've never demanded it. But that changes now, it must, because your soul can't afford another day of pretending you're okay, pretending you don't mind, pretending nice is enough to keep you whole. It's not. And God's saying, my child, you deserve more. You deserve respect fully, loudly, without conditions. You've mistaken easygoing for lovable, your ability to endure pain for strength. But what if the strongest thing you could do is say, enough? Enough of the late night tears, enough of carrying dead relationships, enough of being the only one trying. You've been quiet too long, patient too long, and it's eating you alive. Being nice has become a mask, hiding your fear of rejection, your lack of boundaries. But masks get heavy and they crack. You don't owe world compliance, don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing God's peace over people. You're allowed to choose yourself, to protect your space, to stop setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. That's not love, that's sacrifice, and God's calling you to stop making it. Now let's talk about why being nice should never mean letting folks walk all over you. When you let things slide, people assume your silence means agreement. The more you don't speak up, the more they test your boundaries. Human nature responds to what's allowed, not what's said. If you don't stand firm on your values, time or peace, people chip away at them. And most aren't even trying to hurt you, they're just working with what you permit. If someone interrupts you repeatedly and you allow it, they'll keep doing it. If you let guilt trips push you into unwanted favors, they'll use it again. It becomes a pattern hard to break. Your silence is your signature, your tolerance their license. Over time, you might not recognize your life always reacting, not living intentionally. That's what happens when you don't defend your energy, peace, values, and worth. Others take what you don't protect. Matthew chapter 5, verse 37 states, "Let your yes and your no, no, no." God calls for clarity, defend what He's given you. You might think passivity keeps peace, but it just delays the storm. Avoiding tough talks or ignoring disrespect doesn't make it vanish, it builds under the surface, erupting as burnout, resentment, or withdrawal. This could have been prevented by drawing a line in the sand. People aren't mind readers, they need you to show where the line is. Every time you choose silence over truth, you train others to expect it. They think they can take what they want without consequence. The more they get away with, the more they feel entitled. When you finally push back, they're shocked, acting like you're unreasonable. That's because you let the imbalance grow. Defending yourself isn't aggression, it's self-respect. Showing kindness doesn't mean weakness. Tolerance doesn't mean surrender. When you stop defending your peace, anyone can invade it. There's a difference between being good and being manipulated. Kindness doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Compassion doesn't make you a punching bag. Overextending without boundaries makes you prey for selfish folks. They know you won't say no, you'll excuse their behavior. You'd rather be uncomfortable than confront. They use that. They lean on you for favors, but vanish when you need help. Overstep your time, disrupt your peace, assuming you'll adjust. Why? Because you've shown no consequences, you've shown their approval matters more than your sanity. Defending yourself isn't harsh, it's honoring God's creation, you. If you don't prioritize your well-being, who will? People only use you if you give them the tools. Every time you say nothing, let it slide, you permit them to take more than they deserve. We teach people how to treat us by what we allow, stop, and reinforce. Tolerating disrespect makes it a habit. Letting condescension pass signals it's okay. It's not about drama, it's about saying this ain't right. That sentence, backed by consistency, is a shield. Without it, people see no boundaries, just someone who folds, adjusts, bends without breaking. Some are drawn to that not because they value you, but because they can take without pushback. The world doesn't reward self-sacrifice, it admires it briefly, then forgets. Real respect comes when you hold space for others without erasing yourself. You deserve relationships where respect is mutual, not rare. That starts with what you defend. Always bending to keep others comfortable will break you. The cracks won't show outside, but you'll feel them losing your voice, questioning your worth. Others benefit from your silence, but you carry the weight. This isn't about confrontation, it's about saying, I matter too. When someone pushes past your boundaries and you stay quiet, you signal your comfort secondary, your needs negotiable, your time dismissible. People pick up on that fast, taking liberties with your presence. Self-defense isn't just physical, it's emotional, mental, spiritual. Saying no without guilt, declining draining invitations, distancing from those who only call when they need something. Your energy is sacred, undefended, it's treated as disposable. Reclaiming that ground is tough once it's lost. Someone's always testing limits, seeing how far they can go. They take silence as approval, politeness as weakness. They're not evil, just opportunistic. Without resistance, they keep pressing. Your first response to mistreatment sets the tone. Let one insult slide, the next comes easier. Accept being taken for granted once it's expected. The longer it's unaddressed, the harder to fix. You're stuck giving, never receiving. And they're offended when you say enough. They call you changed, overreacting, but you're just reclaiming your God-given self, the one valuing peace over pleasing, refusing crumbs, knowing what's undefended gets exploited. It's never too late to start defending. It takes courage to speak truth, even if your voice shakes. People don't thank you for what they feel entitled to. If your generosity is expected, not a gift, they won't appreciate it. If you don't stand up, they see no issue draining you. You'll see the imbalance. When you need support, they're gone. When you say no, they act betrayed. You created a version they depend on, not you, but the one who never defends, always says yes, always bends. But bending leads to breaking, and it's not your job to keep others happy at your expense. You can be loving yet assertive, supportive yet bounded, giving without being exploited if you stop fearing saying, that's not okay. Defending isn't selfish, it's necessary. Without a line, someone's crossing it, and you'll shrink until you're gone. You're not helping by staying quiet about what bothers you. Silence buries problems and they resurface ugly, snapping at the wrong folks, losing sleep, overthinking. That's the cost of not defending. It creates inner chaos, even if the outside looks calm. You sacrifice clarity to avoid awkwardness. But defending doesn't need drama, just directness. A calm truth can shift everything, showing you've got a spine, reclaiming your space, teaching others how to treat you. The longer you avoid it, the more power you lose, and the harder it is to reclaim. People aren't wrong for wanting their way, they're wrong when they disrespect yours. Respect is earned through consistency. Every small stand reclaims your strength. Let's get real about why people take advantage of what you don't defend. Not everyone deserves your time, energy, or kindness, and not all will handle it with care. Discernment's key. If you don't defend what matters, they'll assume it doesn't. They'll use you, calling you a friend or listener, but you'll feel the imbalance. That's your spirit, God's voice, waking you. Don't ignore it for fake peace. Real peace starts with truth, and sometimes when mute peace sung too accommodating. Harmony costing your voice isn't peace, it's suffering. Emotional jail dressed as niceness. You don't owe silence, you owe yourself and God courage to speak. Defend your worth and fewer will challenge it. Those who value you won't flinch. When you speak, they'll be glad you did. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 declares, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. God's telling you to protect what's sacred. Self-neglect has a cost, slow, but real. You doubt your choices, question your instincts, second-guess boundaries because you've put others first. It's unsustainable. You'll run dry and crash hard. Those benefiting from your silence won't help, they never supported you. Defending yourself isn't a one-off, it's a lifestyle. Choose daily to honor your truth even when it's inconvenient, risks rejection, or feels lonely. The price of being taken advantage of outweighs one tough talk. Those talks get easier. You spot red flags, stop tolerating what drains, surround yourself with uplifters. It starts with choosing to stop letting folks take because you don't say no. Your defense is your shield, and only you can wield it. Defending yourself brings freedom. At first, it's scary. You worry about opinions, fear misunderstanding. But realizing others' approval as a cage sets you free. Your voice has weight. Your feelings are valid. You don't have to be everything to everyone. The right people won't leave, they'll draw closer, respect you more, adjust, not bolt. Those there for benefit will fade, let them. Their exit proves your boundaries need. Every defense aligns you with your true self, shifting from performance to living. That's where power grows, in small acts of self-respect. Quiet nose honoring peace, firm look saying, I'm serious. People test limits, but knowing yours are firm makes them think twice. Defense doesn't just protect, it transforms, making you whole. Here's a truth that's hard but empowering. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. One of the hardest, most empowering truths: you teach people how to treat you by what you allow, tolerate, and stay silent about. Brushing off disrespect signals it's okay. Never addressing boundary violations makes them seem non-existent. It's not always confrontation, it's the standard you set. Without demanding respect, don't expect it given. People test limits, consciously or not, and each unopposed move lowers your value in their eyes. It's a silent negotiation in every relationship. Your reactions show how to navigate you. Let folks walk over you to avoid conflict, and they'll run. What you allow becomes normal, and the longer it lasts, the deeper it roots. Teaching others starts with self-respect. Valuing yourself sets the tone. You're the standard. How you show up, respond, handle disrespect shows your self-worth. If someone flakes last minute and you say it's fine, you're saying your time's cheap. If they talk down and you're silent, you're okaying it. We fear boundaries make us rude, aggressive, difficult. But standards aren't rude. You're not difficult for expecting decency. True friends value boundaries rooted in self-awareness. Shrinking for others means they'll never meet you where you deserve. They'll exploit your silence. Tolerance, I understand. Stop letting guilt or fear block your space. You're not responsible for their comfort over your worth. Set the bar. People rise or fall by how you hold it. We're taught to be nice at all costs. Accommodating is virtuous. No is selfish. Prioritizing self is uncaring. That's dangerous. It sacrifices boundaries for peace. Peace from pleasing at your expense isn't peace, it's suffering. A smiling soul aching from repeated disrespect. Every yes when you mean no, every silence when lines are crossed, every slide to avoid rocking the boat hands them a map to mistreat you. They don't need to find the line, you erased it. Kindness isn't being a doormat. Love isn't taking mistreatment. Be gentle, but have steel in your spine. Those meant for you respect boundaries. Those thriving on their absence call you difficult. That's not your load. There's power in knowing others' treatment reflects what you've allowed. You don't deserve mistreatment. You're part of the equation. Every interaction trains. If they talk over you and you let it slide, they'll do it again. If they borrow money, don't repay, and you don't mention it, they'll borrow more. Silence permits. You teach their behavior has no consequence, so why change? They're not mind readers. They learn from tolerance. Your labor, energy, presence are valuable. Giving them to those who disregard you devalues you, and they'll follow suit. Let fear of loss trap you in being undervalued. Make boundaries clear. No final. Silence is separation, not submission. It's not punishment, it's protecting peace, honoring worth. This applies to all relationships: romantic, family, work, social. At work, extra hours without recognition. Faking effort speaks, but without voicing expectations. They assume you're fine being overlooked. In love, a partner dismisses emotions and staying signals they're not serious. You teach with patterns, not just words. Saying I deserve better, but returning to what breaks you tells them change isn't needed. Align boundaries with actions. Words alone don't cut it, you must live it. Walk away from what lowers your standards. If you accept crumbs, don't expect the loaf. Boundaries filter out those who stayed because there were no rules. Speaking up, setting boundaries with those used to walking over you is uncomfortable, terrifying, but discomfort's the price of transformation. Your first no feels unnatural, stopping explanations feels rude. That's not wrong, it's your worth stretching. Choosing yourself over conflict reclaims power. Boundaries aren't rules, they're declarations of what you won't tolerate. They need consistency. You can't demand respect Monday and excuse disrespect Friday. People watch patterns, not words. Inconsistency invites tests, seeking weak spots, moments you cave. Each cave shows boundaries bend. Words lack action. You don't owe silence for peace. Don't owe access when they violate energy. What you allow continues, what you correct stops. Now let's dig into how you teach people by what you allow, because this shapes your soul. Constantly allowing mistreatment has a psychological toll. You question your value, internalize disrespect, think it's normal. Self-esteem erodes because you've accepted less than you deserve. You settle, stop expecting more, forget healthy treatment. Your standards shape your self-worth. Enforcing worth builds belief in it. Respect fuels confidence, confidence strengthens boundaries. You stop reacting, you respond with clarity, intent. Your presence shifts, energy changes, people notice. Those thriving on your lack of boundaries resist, they call you distant, selfish, ungrateful. But true friends adjust, meeting you where you are because they respect you. If they don't, that's clarity. Not everyone deserves you, their response to boundaries shows all. John chapter 10 verse 10 confirms, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. God wants abundance, not depletion. The hardest part isn't setting boundaries, it's keeping them, especially when tested. They push subtly, guilting compliance, acting offended, disappointed, angry. That's not your fault, it's their reaction to your growth. You're breaking their comfortable role for you, shaking power dynamics. Growth brings friction. Consistency's key. You can't set a boundary once and expect it to hold. Reinforce it every test. It's exhausting, emotionally taxing, but living where your needs don't matter. Voice isn't heard, values questioned, drains your soul more. Boundaries get easier, become natural. You stop explaining, your energy speaks. People step up or out, both are wins. You're not here to be agreeable at your identity's cost, you're here to be whole. Changing what you allow isn't easy, especially in relationships built on sacrifice. You see, those you thought cared only did when it suited them. They weren't tied to you, but your compliance. When you change rules, they vanish. That hurts, a grief not talked about enough, realizing you were loved for what you gave, not who you are. But that grief's needed, its healing's door. You can't step into worth dragging on reciprocated loyalty. Let them go, let silence speak, let absence be their consequence. Don't beg for right treatment. Don't repeat hoping for change, stop allowing what breaks you. You'll lose people, but find yourself rebuilding on self-respect. That life's more peaceful, fulfilling, honest than one built on silence and self-abandonment. You don't have to attend every argument, invite it. Don't defend boundaries to those set on misunderstanding. Don't need validation from silence's beneficiaries. You teach not just by allowing, but by walking away. Stop showing up for those who hurt you, they'll get it. Stop answering calls from those who only need you, they'll understand. Absence speaks louder than speeches, withdrawal protects. Stopping engagement isn't hate, it's loving yourself enough to stop bleeding for those who won't offer a bandage. Protect energy, be selective with time. You're not required to be available to all, not tasked with fixing those breaking you. You teach daily, and the biggest lesson, you're never treated better than you treat yourself. Sometimes the deepest betrayal is the one we do to ourselves, and it's time to stop that cycle. Sometimes we betray ourselves quietly, silencing our voice to dodge arguments, shrinking dreams to not outshine others, pretending we're okay with violations because confrontation scares us. It's not loud, a soft surrender, retreating from who God made us. These betrayals stack like invisible scars, and suddenly life doesn't feel ours. We're taught keeping peace means silence, kindness means compliance. That's not kindness, it's erasure. Every time you choose others' comfort over your truth, needs, well-being, you betray yourself. Teaching your voice doesn't matter. Boundaries bend, worth's negotiable. Keep it up, and you'll forget authentic living. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10 mentions, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. God's strength lets you stand firm. Making others comfortable at your expense has a cost. You avoid short-term awkwardness, but gain long-term self-discomfort. You censor thoughts, soften opinions, hide preferences to be likable, agreeable, safe. Soon you've built a life on fear of rejection, not desire's truth. You keep draining relationships to not seem cold, overworked to not seem lazy, agree to dreaded plans to not disappoint. But you're disappointing yourself. That betrayal's not just emotional, it hits health, clarity, confidence. Your soul knows when you're misaligned. You smile outside, feel hollow inside. Ignoring needs builds resentment. Festering, bleeding into how you see others, communicate, move all because you chose their comfort over your truth. We're sold a lie, worth ties to keeping others happy. In conditional approval homes, people-pleasing becomes reflex. You anticipate needs, edit yourself, prioritize harmony over honesty. Putting others first makes you last. You're so good at reading others' emotions, you lose yours. You sense room tension and diffuse it, even if you didn't cause it. That seems compassionate, but it's fear, abandonment, disapproval, selfishness fears. Sacrificing identity for love isn't love. Real love doesn't dim you. Real connection's not pretense. If they only accept a suppressed you, they don't accept you. You deserve more than conditional ties, relationships, celebrating authenticity. Dimming your light for others' comfort isn't noble, it's a disservice. Betraying yourself harms you and teaches others it's okay to disregard needs. Enables disrespect, normalizes imbalance. How you treat yourself shows others how to treat you. Ignore your voice, they will. Abandon boundaries, they'll assume none exist. Break the cycle with courage, saying no, this doesn't work. Courage to be disliked, to lose approval. It's uncomfortable, especially after years seeking validation through self-abandonment. But freedom's worth it. Honoring yourself attracts respecters. You stop settling for crumbs, expecting the meal. Stop chasing external peace, cultivating inner peace. You stop being a stranger to yourself. This starts in childhood, being peacemaker in chaos, emotions dismissed, praised for maturity when suffering. The pattern follows. You're reliable, agreeable, selfless, but exhausted. Self-sacrifice isn't sustainable. Caring's fine, but compulsive caring, ignoring needs isn't. You check on everyone, forgetting yourself. You mask strength while breaking, and they expect more because you show no limit. But you don't have to keep it up. You can evolve, say, I can't keep abandoning myself. If you do, you'll have nothing left to give. You don't owe anyone a pleasing version of you. Silence against mistreatment, compliance when your soul screams. You owe yourself God, truthful living, honoring your spirit, standing in values. It's a mindset shift, guilt to self-respect, letting go of managing others' feelings. That's not your job, yours is integrity. True lovers won't leave, they'll rise. Those who can't handle authenticity, let them go. That's not love, it's control. A dangerous illusion. You deserve truth-based relationships, peace from alignment, not appeasement. Show up for yourself like you do for others. Choose yourself, not rebellion, but reverence. Not everyone will get stopping self-betrayal. Some call it selfish, say you've changed. You are changing the story, refusing to bend until breaking, refusing roles in other scripts while your voice goes unheard. That's growth, power, but lonely. Authenticity means stepping from those benefiting from your self-abandonment, disappointing others to stop disappointing yourself. In that silence between past and becoming, you rebuild, rediscover preferences, passions, voice, realize worth isn't negotiable. The path's uncertain, but it's freedom's only road. True peace comes from honoring your inner truth, not keeping others happy. It's time to step into the power God gave you, not the expectations others put on you. Comfort seems safe, but it's stagnation. Staying quiet in disrespected relationships to avoid loneliness, in devaluing jobs for bills and draining friendships to not be alone, it's fear-based. Fear's a poor life architect. Living small to avoid discomfort isn't safety, it's self-erasure. Choose your truth or their comfort. Decide being light for a fake you or love for the real you. It's not easy, but necessary. You can't be fully authentic and universally liked. Some dislike your boundaries, growth, strength, let them. Your job's being true, asking what's honest, what's kind to me. Act on it, even when hard. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13 proclaims, I can do all this through him who gives me strength. God's power fuels your truth. Stopping yourself from speaking needs, minimizing pain, smiling through tears teaches your truth's invalid. That's deep betrayal. Your truth needs feelings matter. Hiding them for appearances loses your compass. You look outward for guidance, affirmation, identity. Truths within, needing honesty with others, yourself. Face discomfort, don't dodge it. What you resist persists, what you face transforms. You're not here to be invisible. A comfort vessel, you're meant to live fully, speak boldly, love deeply. Honor yourself and practice choices, boundaries, showing up for your soul. When you bite your tongue, shrink truth, pretend it's okay, pause. Ask, am I betraying myself for their comfort? If yes, choose differently, not easy, but you deserve better. Your peace outweighs their temporary satisfaction, your truth's non-negotiable. Change terms, grow out of survival roles, stop caretaking others' emotions, protect yours. That's not rude, it's real. Being real's the bravest act in a world profiting from pretense. Stop betraying yourself, honor the whisper, there's more for me. It starts when you choose truth over comfort. When you let go of fake peace, you step into the real peace God designed for you. Real strength isn't enduring or saying yes to all, it's the quiet power of no without flinch, guilt, apology. We're taught to accommodate, be agreeable, put others first. Saying no feels rebellious, but it reclaims identity. Being liked over respected is conditioning, but respect comes from boundaries, not bending to make others feel better. You don't owe constant access to time, energy, kindness. Protecting space isn't selfish, it's mature. Some dislike it, but true carers understand. Saying no isn't war, it's self-preservation, needing more courage than yes. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 11 mentions, put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand. God equips you to stand firm. You're not everyone's savior, crutch, punching bag. Saying yes at your well-being's cost betrays you. Kindness isn't compliance, don't confuse them. Strength's knowing when yes is a lie, refusing it. Every yes against your heart gives away peace, truth, sanity. How you treat yourself teaches others. Overextending shows it's expected. Resentment builds, you feel unappreciated, misunderstood, invisible. That's on you for not drawing lines. People aren't mind readers, show what you allow. A clear no's honest over a forced yes. No justification needed, peace is enough. Honoring truth over pleasing brings unfamiliar freedom, real strength. Stop over-explaining, diluting no with softeners like I'm sorry or maybe later if untrue. That's seeking likability, not clarity. Strength stops manipulation. They'll guilt, shame, call you selfish, cold, but that's them. Comfortable with your compliance. Saying no forces adjustment or exit, both blessings. Choose peace over their burdens. You're not here to shrink so they feel tall. No's a boundary, not betrayal. Let them think what they want, you're not responsible for their emotions, only your truth. That strength, unapologetic, firm is rare, necessary in a people-pleasing world. Saying no improves, lifetime's yours, energy stops bleeding, mental health heals. People fed off your no-lessness, counting on silence, guilt shrinking, standing firm without over-explaining or permission shifts you. Fear of disappointing loses grip. The world doesn't end with no, and levers weren't in your corner. Strength's quiet refusal to betray self. Not apologizing for choosing you attracts respecters, valuers, not sacrifice dependence. That's stepping into power, realizing no's a sentence, rebuilding life. Many live in a yes prison, scared to disappoint, lose love, respect, approval. But what about self-love, self-respect? Every fear-based yes chips at integrity. No need for rudeness or aggression, calm, confident, no stronger than gritted teeth, yes. They may not like it, but respect it or leave, making room for those who do. Strength's not controlling their feelings about your no, it's not needing their understanding for your truth's validity. You don't owe explanations for guarding heart, peace priorities. Peace costing self-respect isn't peace. No's redirection. Aligning with values, energy, truth, that's freedom. The hardest no's to yourself, the part time worth the doing, bending, sacrificing. That part's scared of aloneness, being seen, difficult, cold, uncaring. That's conditioning, not truth. You're taught love's earned, boundaries are walls, selfishness a sin. No doesn't make you unkind, it's honest, self-aware. Practice lessons, guilt. Self-care is necessary, not selfish. Strong folks you admire learn no, protected energy, stood firm. No to draining says yes to fulfilling. Operating there, you stop surviving, start living, choosing clarity over fear. That shift transforms life inside out. Some take boundaries personally, let them. Their reactions about them, not you. Boundary-less beneficiaries see growth as offense. Your job's not their comfort over sanity, it's honoring soul, body, mind. You're not here to be used, explaining, defending, justifying truth. Strengths choosing peace over performance, rest over availability, depth over drama. Saying no sans apology, anger, guilt lets you live fully, responding intentionally. That changes life, showing how much energy is wasted on undeserving things. You become deliberate, intentional, unbothered, not uncaring, but caring about self, purpose, peace. That's ultimate strength. The world won't reward burnout. Honor, yes, when no is needed, mental exhaustion, availability, sacrifice. The lie, give love, sacrifice enough, it'll be respect. Truth, respect comes when you respect self. Value when you value time, seriousness when you set tone. No without apology sets life's tone, being someone not needing universal liking because you like you, showing up, knowing worth, not diluting for others' comfort. That's empire building strength, lasting peace. Protecting time, energy, heart aligns life. Alignment brings clarity, focus, purpose, joy, not easier life, but stopping self-made hardness by saying yes when meaning no. Here's the raw truth. You betrayed yourself too long in silence, nodding yes when soul screamed no, shrinking so others felt big, letting them write your life's rules for their comfort. That chapter's done. This is your final call to reclaim the life God gave you, starting now. You weren't born a sidekick in your story, a mirror for others' needs while yours collect dust. You're not weak for boundaries, wrong for valuing time, peace, worth. Every unapologetic no reclaims you, drawing a line saying, I matter too. This is your wake-up call, not to harden, but to see. Strength's not pleasing, it's choosing self over agreeability, pressure, refusing to explain worth, negotiate value. You've taught others by tolerating, now rewrite it. Let silence outshine explanations, no ring with self-respect, decisions align with truth, not expectations. They may call you difficult, let them. They may walk, let them. Those meant for you aren't scared by boundaries, they'll rise, not drain. Stepping into power, you'll see love, respect, peace you chased by overgiving was inside, buried under compromise. Dig it up, own it. Stand tall, voice shaking, say no when needed, yes when real. Let presence be felt not by endurance, but protecting wholeness. You don't owe exhaustion, don't need permission to honor soul. This is your life, stop apologizing for living it your way. Now, what's your name? Where are you standing today? God's calling, will you answer? I don't just hear this act. Share your story, tell someone I'm choosing me. Write it down, pray it out, let God guide your next step. Leave here different, stronger, bolder, unshakable. Drop a comment, reach out, let us know how you're reclaiming your soul. Your journey's just begun, and I'm rooting for you. God's got you, I got you, now go get you. Stay strong, stay blessed, and never forget your power's quiet, but with God it's unstoppable.